wait a few seconds to make sure we're actually properly live. Okay, it should be going now. So there's a few things I actually want to talk about. Um, Actually, mainly I just want to talk about sort of an epilogue, or like my interpretation of like what happens to Zandra after everything. Well, basically like the wreckage of Pride wreckage in the Citadel. Let's even say wreckage in the Citadel. Like they obviously investigate the Citadel. Um, Barely shortly into things. Um, so and they find Shepard's body and that she's still alive. So that happens. Um, basically, there's basically kind of a, uh, I mean, probably with the help of the quantum communicators, which are come up with the quantum communication network, um, that the Alliance developed probably from the Cerberus tech. Um, they're able to like coordinate repairs to the Mass Effect relays um, over the course of a fair number of years. And actually, I would say at the very least, Liara was able to learn about what happened to Shepard, or that Shepard was found alive um, pretty early on because, obviously, uh, we have these quantum entanglement things. So, uh, yeah. Um, so she learns about Shepard being alive pretty quickly. Um, Probably within, I don't know, she's probably the first one to be informed. Um, so I would say that what it might take a few months to a year for um, the relays to be repaired enough to allow transport. Um, uh, Although actually the Mass Effect relay in the Sol system was probably the one of the first to get repaired because um, I mean for one they need people to get to the Citadel. I guess the new location of the Citadel. So obviously, yeah, that's going to be the top priority. Of course, then possibly followed by the one that whatever system the Normandy landed up in. It might have been something of a priority. So I would say that Shepard probably recovered um, uh, within like a month or two. Uh, Unfortunately, not be able to like uh, get back together with Liara until let's just say 6 months or so. Um, let's just make it a little bit shorter. Um, and basically, like they immediately held a welcome back party, or I mean, there probably was actually like a parade when the Normandy came back. Like I wonder if there's such a thing as space parades. Like that would be interesting. So they held a space parade. Let's just envision a space parade. I never see that in science fiction. Like that would be like really like you see like I mean I guess at the end of Star Wars Episode One there was like a actual like parade, but like you ever see a parade like in space? Like they could do like some things with like force fields and stuff. Maybe they have like people on top of the floats. of space floats. Like that would be so let's just envision for the sake of and heck, this could even be like an episode of like my proposed Netflix series. Like we have a space parade. Like we have an actual like epilogue episode. It's like the ending would be almost exactly the same with a few little tweaks that I've suggested, like having Shepard actually address the fact that like the Quarians and the Geth are getting along, and I can't remember what the other thing was. Also, like yeah, going a little more in depth into what synthesis would mean. Um, Although it would be kind of weird, I guess, writing wise, um, unless you make it into like something like like Bandersnatch or whatever. Where, you know, actually it's a choose your own adventure, but I would probably say that the very ending would probably be the only choose your own adventure aspect. Um, but then like if it was done that way, there'd be like 3 epilogue episodes or 3 versions of the epilogue episode anyway. Um, but anyway, we're talking about our Shepard reference. Um, but yeah, there's a space parade where the Normandy comes back in to the Sol system, and they're reunited. They have a big party, and actually, I would say at this party, Shepard proposes to Liara. I'm not even sure how the bond mate things works with Asari. Like, um, but if I think Shepard probably would just do like a more or less traditional, like either she would do a traditional like human proposal, or she would like research how um this works. And if there's no Asari equivalent to engagement, then like she'd be like, okay, well I'm just going to we're going to do this the human way because there's no Asari equivalent. So um but anyway, of course Liara says yes because that's how that's how it has to unfold. Um, Although she may have been like, it's possible she may have been confused because she didn't like, why are you giving me this thing of a stone on it? That might be interesting if like Liara's like, I'm not sure she would be like at this point completely confused. Like she probably would know a thing or two about human culture at this point, so just so she doesn't embarrass herself. So, but it would still be funny if she did like if she was actually confused about it. Um, but when they get married a few months after that, and basically, um, I originally was gonna say like they have at least 2 children, but I'm probably gonna go to 3. Um, Basically, we have Krios, Solus, and uh, Gianna. Um, Named after all of the 3 characters who died in Mass Effect 3. Um, with Gianna being Legion. Or Giona? Giona, maybe. Giona. It had to be Giona, not Gianna. So Giona. Taking a little bit of creative liberty because Legion doesn't sound like a good name, but like Krios and Solos sound like they could be potentially girls' names. I don't know. Yeah, and actually Morden would still be could potentially be a good girl's name, but it's already taken by Rex and whatever her name, Eve or whatever her actual name is. I don't know if I was actually like if she ever actually told us what her actual name was. I think Rex is the one who told us what her actual name is. Um, but anyway, yeah, and from there they just sort of more or less live happily ever after. I mean, there could be some other stuff. Like if we're gonna talk about this, go further with the idea of this being like an epilogue episode for a Netflix series. There could be some interesting little character moments and such. Obviously, we had to deal um with Edie being kind of dead. Um, Heck, you had to wonder like how they were able to get the Normandy off the ground without Edie being functional. Uh, but I'll say for the sake of everything that they managed to sort of repair Edie and jury rig some things to get her back online. Um, I mean, I, like the nature of the destroy option, I don't think is so clearly defined that you can actually say like, well, is this like some sort of like thing that would actually erase all the data? So like they could make it functional again, but like it's not gonna actually do anything. It's not actually gonna run. Um, like we could have some like because of how limited the information is on like what exactly happens to the Reapers in synthetic life, we could like go as far as with it if we want. I think the important thing is Edie. I mean, the Geth were kind of important too. Like they're only an entire civilization of synthetic beings. What we really care about is Edie. Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say that she's fun. Like it takes a while to like get her completely up and running again. But who knows? There might be some little repercussions, like her not remembering Joker at all, not remembering anything. Her personality is like intact, but she doesn't remember anything, and she has to. What's up, Yuki? Where'd you go? You're not stuck anywhere, are you? I hear her talking. I just don't know where she is. But anyway, that might be again just from a writing standpoint, it might be interesting to sort of work out some. She's like brought back, but there are like some sort of repercussions or something. Although Joker definitely would be like, oh, you knew we'd be able to repair her when you made your big choice, did you? Right, right. You totally knew we'd be able to fix her, right? Heck, Ty could have helped or something. I don't know. I'm not sure about like all the synthetic stuff that was part of Shepard. Like what happens with that. What kind of complications might arise with that narrative-wise in an epilogue. Um, I mean, basically, like whatever superhuman abilities she got like implanted into her are just no longer function. I'd probably say. Oh yes, and she finally gets promoted to captain, and they sail off to explore the galaxy and do like I don't know sciencey things. I don't know. Like she continues to be a captain for a while, but like uh, wants to do more sciencey things. Also, she gets like various medals of honor and valor from various um, alien races. Just about every medal and such that they make, and probably a statue. Should have probably a statue somewhere. Definitely on the Citadel, and probably on Earth too. Although she might insist that like the statue, like, it'd be like an epic statue that just includes everyone, including the ones who died. I think that would be like at least one of the statues has to like be a like a big diorama with everyone. It's extremely expensive, but considering the number of characters that have uh, been part of the Normandy crew, like all the main ones. We're not gonna go into like Kelly and Trainer and all that. Sugar has to be in there somewhere. I don't know. But anyway, there'd probably only be like one of the statues. Would have the full crew more or less, or at least everyone who signed up of having a statue made of them. Some may refused. Although Kasimi's statue went mysteriously missing. Anyway, but yeah, that's kind of how I envision things going after the ending of Mass Effect 3 in my playthrough. And because all we have is our imagination, that is actually the canon ending of my playthrough. So we can have lots of fun with that. Um, so to round this out a bit more, I don't know, like my thoughts on Mass Effect 3 and the series as a whole. Mass Effect 3 is not a bad game. It's actually a pretty good game. The only real mechanic that I absolutely despise is this the planetary scanning mechanic with the Reapers chasing after you. I think that's complete and utter bullshit. It's not that terrible. I still managed to actually go and like gather everything 100%, at least as far as I'm aware. So it may not have been quite that bad, but still, I don't care for it. I especially didn't care for the Fessia mission that was added by the Expanded Galaxy mod. I didn't want to touch that after trying it a couple times. I was tempted to go back and try and do it again, but yeah. Um, I guess in terms of like where we are and Shepard finally settle down, uh, could be Fessia. I don't know. I mean, it might eventually. I mean, I think uh, I'm not sure like what kind of stuff Shepard would be up to as a captain. Uh, I think maybe like the Normandy could even be just a ship to go around and help deliver supplies to places that need it to where it needs to go. Um, I kind of like the idea of maybe becoming more of a science vessel or more of like an enterprise type of peaceful exploration vessel. I don't know. Um, um, Now I would also kind of I guess another thing we kind of discuss here is what if we got like a Mass Effect 4, like an actual direct sequel to Mass Effect 3. Um, which ending should be the canonical ending? Well, possibly the destroy ending. I mean, that is the one ending supposedly where Shepard survives. So, I mean, granted, I don't know sure we could be the continuing adventures of Shepard, although that would also be kind of interesting. Um, maybe you could run into Shepard or something. And I mean, I don't know, like it doesn't necessarily even have to like go into all the repercussions of everything because we're just sticking with like one ending, then and have a completely different set of characters, then really all you need to do is just have the ability to either import the Shepard from Mass Effect 3 or just import it based on the character code because you have the character code system, so you can just like go like, well, fire up your copy of Mass Effect 3 and note down the numbers and then type them in or punch them into Mass Effect 4, and then you can import a recreation of your Shepard, either as like a character who makes a guest appearance of sorts, or statues you might see of Shepard would be modeled after that particular incarnation of Shepard. Maybe you might say HoloVids. Maybe you encounter another version of Shepard VI. Would be interesting. But yeah, I think the destroy ending kind of has to be the canonical ending, because uh, the implications of control and synthesis are just too earth shattering, or too world shattering to really consider. Like they could repair the Geth, they could repair EDI potentially. Um, they could rebuild, some of these things potentially. Um, so the implications of this, they could even say like that Shepard was indoctrinated, and that the whole thing about synthetic life being destroyed was all synthetic life being destroyed was a complete farce. I'm not sure if I should go that I would go that far, but yeah. Or you could just remake Mass Effect 3 with a completely different ending that could leave it more open to a direct sequel. Um, but I think definitely the advantage to a direct sequel would be obviously that you could. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, there's probably a lot more you can explore within the Milky Way galaxy. I mean, there's a ton of different systems you can explore within the trilogy. But you can introduce some new worlds, or even flesh out some of the ones that have already been introduced, but never you can never visit in the Mass Effect trilogy. Um, you could have uh, maybe even new races, like races that were just starting to stretch out into the galaxy um, prior. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to explore in Andromeda, but you're also limited to the fact that you can't necessarily have. I don't think they have Elcor. I don't know. Like I can't remember, like what other races necessarily like uh, came along. Uh, they definitely. I definitely like to see more of the Elcor and Hanar and like the other like you know races in Andromeda. But I don't know. Because you're cutting out a fair number of Mass Effect races in from Andromeda potentially, unless we like retcon something in, or if there's something already there. It's been a while since I played Andromeda, basically since it first came out. Um, I would really like to see it in Andromeda too, just to if for no other reason than to resolve all the lingering plot issues. Um, all the little threads that were probably meant to be resolved with DLC, but because the game was kind of a failure, it never did, and it pisses me off. And eventually like to replay Andromeda, but I'll probably wait until November maybe for N7 Day. Um, you're replaying it, and with our cool fancy as a interface, I might do the male writer character. I don't know. I make no promises. Have to look at like what the other romance options are for a female writer. Um, since we already did PB in the first playthrough, and I don't know. And PB was probably the only character that is actually memorable. Like I don't remember any of the other character names. Um, Glad I only played for the game once, and I wasn't able to sit through the Video Games Awesome. I don't think Dave played for the entire game on Video Games Awesome. Uh, but yeah, I'd be equally interested in the idea of a sequel to Andromeda or a sequel to Mass Effect 3 that just goes off the destroy ending. Um, and like I said, I think it has like the fewest like significant implications. Like, okay, because like Synthesis is like okay, everybody is now like perfect synthesis of organic and synthetic, and we're all getting along, and eternal peace is brought to the galaxy. We can't build any real stories or conflicts around that per se, exactly. Um, like um, that's not really gonna happen. And of course, control is like okay, now we have control. This Shepard, this AI thing based on or non-corporeal weird thing based on Shepard is controlling all these Reapers around the galaxy and enforcing peace and who knows what else, uh, doing whatever else with the Reapers and uh, that's a thing. And then we have an ending where everyone's basically dead and we had to. I mean, we could do a game based on the next cycle where the Reapers come back and someone actually saves the galaxy after Shepard. But that would feel a lot more like a retread, so yeah. Um, I was kind of hoping for some people to pop into the chat, but that doesn't seem to be happening. So I'm just here talking by myself, talking to myself, and that's Chaos Fury. That's why the Reapers are here to bring order to chaos. But yeah, I guess that's kind of my thoughts on Mass Effect 3, and hopefully some people will actually comment on the VOD or something, because I'd like to get some kind of discussion going. Anyway, I'm probably gonna watch Paragon Lost on my own at some point. Uh, I might try to search for my Elgato to do this. I'll try to start with Kingdoms of Amalur. I've already made a lot of headway on the title card. Although I'm probably going to create a new one once I can get screen caps of my created character. So initially we're just going to have the logo in front of the generic Pixels background. Or we're going to probably have the generic Pixels background behind me. Until I can get a screenshot that like maybe some scenery or something to make into a pixel into pixel art, because I kind of like to do it maybe to some extent moving forward with my live streams, just have more interesting looking backgrounds that are based in pixel art, or that have the pixel art feel rather than having this sort of it's gonna be a lot more work, but it's gonna look a lot cooler. But it's gonna depend on the game, ultimately, like there's gonna be some games where I'm just not gonna feel inspired enough to create some fancy background art, possibly. So, Robin's Injury will probably be one of those. So I might do like Robinson Journey as like a side thing, perhaps to Kings of Amalur. Although that would still be quite annoying because I have to switch out all the tags and everything. Wait, I'm probably also gonna look into some mods for Kings of Amalur. I do have it on Steam and installed on my D drive, so I don't have to worry about stuff with. I may still do a test run to make sure that I don't need to like install some weird drivers or something. Like I might even do a test run just to create a character and then get a screen cap of it. Now I have to like remember, okay, is it all the things I did when I created the character? um, anyway, um, yeah, I mean, I guess the only other complaint about Mass Effect 3 is that easy mode is like pretty dang easy. And again, I kept it like that because I was maybe concerned that normal would be too hard. And actually, it may have been overwhelming for the final battle, actually. So, um, no regrets. And again, I like the idea of Shepard being a complete and total badass, by the end of it. But at the same time, normal was easy was a little too easy, and it felt like weird to have another difficult setting below that when easy is already so easy. Anyway, we're dropping frames for some reason. I'm gonna wrap things up anyway. Got about an hour till Critical Role starts, so I had to work tomorrow morning, so I'll probably be starting a bit later in the day. I also depends on how quickly I can get things set up for Emmeler. Anyway, looking forward to it, and I'm not sure. I'll go ahead and just show the wall patrons quick. It's Eric McMahon, $10 patron. Thanks for your contribution, and also other people watching this. You can get a patreon.com/pixelsplays. But of course, if you're not feeling quite that generous, you can still do a lot of other things that can help this channel grow on your platform of choice. I've heard that Twitch is a little easier to get a partnership with, so please consider, if you're not already, to check that channel out and perhaps and follow us on Twitch. We also have a Facebook page you can check out, and there's links in the description, at least on YouTube. I don't know if I can do anything like that on Twitch.